Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Zamora 2-Player Podcast. I am your player 1 today, Garrett Zamora, and I am joined once again by my brother, my player 2, Matt Zamora. Matt, thanks for joining me on this finally sunny, almost warm spring day. We're getting there.
Getting there. There's no more snow. The grass is green and not just yellow and
My
dirty.
summer tires are on, so no more snowstorm, threats. And it's dark, it's light past 4:30 now, so that's always a plus.
Exactly. So no, it's nice to kind of have the spring summer weather kind of starting to come in after emerging from darkness of winter for so long. So so anyways, nice to kind of get to that stage of things. So but lots of games to be played nonetheless.
I have Doom The Dark Ages comes out on Thursday.
Okay.
And then there's this game Fantasy Life, which is just like a little cute, like Japanese sort of action RPG game. There was one on the 3DS, and it was actually composed by Nobu Uematsu. It's not the grand scale of his normal compositions, but it's definitely charming music that you would expect from him. I don't know if he did the music on this one, but it's the follow-up. And that comes out the next week. So I actually have a vacation coming up, not this coming week, but the week after. So I'll have Doom and that new game to sort of, any gaming I want to get done during my vacation will be split pretty much between those two, I think.
Nice.
So
and then I was wondering because I'm gonna come home sometime in July, and I was like, I should time it with whatever staycation Garrett has going on for any games. Or anything.
I think we just by coincidence did. It's the last week of June into July.
Okay, yeah.
Like the 29th or 30th of June, like that Monday.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the Friday before that I'm off because my friend's getting married on the 28th. And I was like, well, that's a good kickoff for a week vacation. And I don't have any Final Fantasy or Zelda releases this year to base my vacation around. So, it's like leading the week that June leads into July, whatever that week is. I'm off. And I thought I was talking to Mom, and she said you might be home that week too.
Yeah, exactly. And so, because I remember when I was home last time, it was just after because you had
the expansion.
Expansion.
Yeah.
That it was just look, I have to do this. Okay, I'm home that week after. So so that's good. So awesome.
Yeah. And then Summer Games Fest will be in about a month. So we'll learn about a bunch more stuff coming out in, by the end of the year. So, and the Switch 2 actually comes out in June. So,
holy crap. Wow.
I'll have that. So I got my summer is set for games coming, and I don't even know the whole story yet.
Wow, cool.
But so we wanted to do another episode because Matt, you finished the Xenoblade DLC. And I have been playing what a lot of people have been playing recently, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And I really want to talk about it without getting too spoilery. So if anyone's watching this that plans on playing it, I'm not going to go into specific plot points or spoiler territory.
And if it's reassuring to you, I have not played it yet, and I told Garrett spoiler I don't want any spoilers. So so anyways, I haven't played it either. So if it gets spoiled, I'm gonna be angry first. So so don't worry.
I just want to talk about it, some stuff that make it really special, and just what's really cool. I am not someone who cares a whole lot about Grand Theft Auto. That's never been a game that I've played for more than a couple hours of just kind of dicking around. And I know a lot of people may be upset that Grand Theft Auto 6 got a big delay because it was supposed to come out this year and they just came out a week ago saying it's May next year. And it's I'm sure most people are like, well, they'd rather it come out and be good, so they'll take the delay. It's already been like 13 or 14 years anyway, so what's another 6 months or whatever. But now that that's been pushed to next year, this game is like, all right, GOTY material, like GOTY watch, you know. It's like
nice.
Because I know GTA will just sweep up a million awards when it comes out. So now that that's out of the way, it's like, okay, this is an actual real contender for Game of the Year now. And it feels weirdly validating because I definitely, when I saw the trailer, the very first one, I had Matt rewatch it just for context. When I saw the very first trailer for this game, I was like immediately in. I'm like, I need this game. I'm picking this up day one. I don't know what it is, just something feels real special about it.
Yeah.
And just seeing how much it's like popping off on every channel, I just feel a little validation. I'm like, I fucking told you so. I knew this game was gonna be a good one. But anyway, so yeah, we'll just talk briefly about your sort of wrap up on Xenoblade, and then we'll talk. I want to talk about Clair Obscur because that game is just blowing my socks off right now.
Oh, nice.
So I think when we talked before, you finished the main game, like you had finished the actual story, and you were going to go back and do like post game stuff or a little bit of whatever, you know, optional things. But you've since gone through and like started and finished the DLC. Do you remember how long it took you by any chance?
Like I bet you, because I did the kind of main story and then some of the extra stuff, because all the like the super bosses, whatever. I bet you it was like, I'll check, but 20 hours maybe, something like that. But like it was legit. I was like, holy crap, okay, this is not a
they don't mess around with their DLC. This is no Stellar Blade Nier costume DLC. Exactly. I like that too, but you know, I like when a game gives me something substantial.
Some meat. But no, like, and that was awesome because especially like Melia was like my leader of my final build of my party in the main story. Like I really got,
I remember
liking
thinking when you were saying that, I was like, because like people that didn't do that found the DLC like a little tricky to like get a rhythm going because they just had no idea how she worked or didn't play her enough to like understand how to use her properly. So when you were talking about how you were like mainly controlling her, which is what I did when I like went through the game like a second time. So like I had that familiarity too. It was like, oh yeah, you'll be right at home in the
I know
DLC.
Okay, get into the arts and like I know what I want. I know what I want for her arts and things like that.
Because they're mostly the same. I think they're all the same.
Yeah, I think they were the same.
The arts are the same, but the system is a little tweaked because you don't have 100 hours to gather a bunch of gems and materials and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, kind of the gem crafting and stuff like that. But and it was nice because one of the Nopon whatever people was like Carla essentially. So I was like, oh, okay,
just gotta heal her.
Here we go. This is just the same. I was like, okay, here we go. So that worked out. That it was easy to jump right into it. The music is awesome. The battle theme, I was like, yep, I'm in.
And that was like, I'm pretty sure that was just made for the DLC, like in the definitive edition. Like I don't think that music was scrapped from the cut content that they turned this. I'm pretty sure that was like a new composition for the game for the like purposes of the DLC, which is like, I can hear it in my head right now. It's so good. Like this, like kind of that jazzy sort of that motif or whatever.
I think I mentioned to you, I don't know if it was on the pod, but I get I'm not saying there's a connection or anything, but the vibe that I get out of it is like when the Turks theme, like when you're fighting all of them in Rebirth in the Temple of the Ancients, it's kind of the Turks theme, but kind of a jazzy.
I think we did talk about that on the pod. It was on the podcast, so obviously FF7 came into the mix.
Of course, that track.
But no, it definitely gave that same kind of vibe.
But anyways, no, it was really good. I loved the story. It was really cool too. A subtle thing was all of the heart to hearts or whatever they were called in the DLC. Those are all voice acted.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, these are just text in the main
Yep.
game, but all of those were voice acted and were really important to the story actually.
Yes.
So I made sure to go check out all those.
Which is
And
great too that they like obviously still had the same voice actors
mm,
like come in and record new lines for this
mhm,
game basically.
yep.
Like reprising their roles and whatnot. So, and I'm pretty sure
And
I don't think the voiceovers changed. They sounded the same to me, but
and Amelia's voice acting was so good.
yeah.
The voice acting for I can't remember her name, but her sister or whatever with like
Oh,
the ponytail with like the pink in it.
I forget her name too, but I know who you
Anyway,
mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
Talia or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
My apologies. But anyway, like that her voice acting was so good. The story was really, really good. I liked kind of fighting the darker monsters and things like that. And then I think I mentioned to you, there's like the last thing I did in the DLC was this dragon that was
Yeah,
really
I
like,
remember that.
oh, kicking my ass. And I was like, no, I'm not just gonna like level up a bunch. Like I'm at the level I'm at is appropriate. I
Yeah.
just need to figure it out. And at the time, this is all in hindsight, in retrospect, but um, I was really frustrated when I was doing it. I was like, come on. This guy like just totally like one moves my team and da 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 da. And it's in those moments that you like, okay, I need to do something different. I need to change my strategy. Um, what are these other arts that I've never used for Amelia, or things like maybe, and then it was like, oh wait, some of these other because I was like lightning, fire, and water, just because like water, healing, fire, because it's always my go-to lightning because it's awesome. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
the
oh
big
wait,
hitter.
yeah, the earth and like the other ones had. I was like, what are the buffs that come with those? It's like, oh wait, there's like a
Evasion and
physical.
defense.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, this is I think what I need. So do that because then that tail swipe or whatever isn't just going to completely kill one of me kind of thing.
Right.
Um, and then there's one move, one art that's something like it's like an invincible thing or whatever. Like it's like immunity to physical damage. And I was like, what? So I have to like time it 30 seconds before, but like no, that art like it happens as soon as you do it.
Oh, sure.
And so like even like you're casting something else, whatever, but like if you do that art, it's like okay, immunity, but it's for like 10 seconds.
Right.
So it's like, oh, he's doing this move, immunity. Okay, it didn't kill me. I've got some recovers built up, whatever, and just like, and then with the buffs and stuff, I was like, okay, I learned something.
Yeah, you can see there's like a path forward now when
Mhm.
like you like, and that's like
Yeah,
many JRPGs when you're just hitting a wall like that and you're like
yeah,
you do something like, well, that kind of worked. Like, let me
yeah,
see how
yeah,
far I can get with that now, and then you just find that it's like, oh, there's light at the end of the tunnel somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was one point because you fight him on like this, I don't know, pedestal thing, in a tomb or whatever. And at one point he like did this move and like it almost looked like he was gonna fall off the edge. And like that's a way that
They'll
that
die.
monsters will die. And I was like, oh God. And it felt like the game was not built to prevent that from happening. Like I think it
Yeah.
could have legit been a way that I could have
I
won.
believe that would have worked if he did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if he didn't move the wrong way. I fully
Anyway,
believe that.
I was pretty happy when I did that, when I finished that, and then I jumped right into a new game plus, because I was like,
Okay.
okay, yeah, because
Did you
it's
go
like,
through the
oh,
whole game again?
I'm I'm going through it
Oh
now,
my
so
god.
yeah, and it's like I lowered my levels down to like as is appropriate. The weapons and armor and stuff, I'm still pretty overpowered, but
Sure.
it's kind of like, I just want to go through the story knowing what the Monado is and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
knowing, just the replay value of it is
Yeah.
pretty good because I'm like, okay, I'm doing a completely different team, and I'm essentially using, the skills connection as a guide of like, oh, I never played with Riki at all.
Sure.
So I was like, maybe I'll do that a little bit more um rhyme and like stuff like that. So
Sure.
I'm doing a playthrough with Dunbun as my main guy, and I'm really
I was
like
gonna
liking
say
that.
he is
Yeah.
fun if you set him up as like basically like an evasion tank.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
gets all the
yeah,
aggro, but he just dodges everything.
yeah, yeah.
It is very fun.
I love doing like you'll do the trifecta move or whatever, and it'll be like I'll do a red move and then get everyone else to do a red one, and then when it comes to me, I do his like
Yeah.
move whatever. So I've got like chain of like 3 on physical,
Yeah.
and it just like dead kills everyone.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
like
liking.
that one is really fun to do with it when you're in a group. When you do his like signature art with like the multi hit, if you can
Oh
do
yeah,
that
yeah,
at the end of like a 2 or 3 like chain,
that's a good
it
call.
does so much damage. Like against a boss or whatever, like it just
Yeah.
chunks them down. But yeah, he's really
But
fun to play as.
and now knowing like how to how to do Shulk's uh like what each of his Monado moves is good, like
Like
shield
when to
or
shield, when to
speed.
speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And as I'm playing it through again, like, oh yeah, it really does coach you into this along the
Yeah.
way. But I was
It's a lot though.
it's a
You're
lot.
absorbing a lot in that first playthrough.
It's one thing I really didn't pick up on my first playthrough because I don't know, I was obsessed with gem crafting or who knows what. But anyway, so now that's fun to be like um breaking their move set or whatever with some of those things. So
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I'm really digging the next playthrough. So I'm I'm getting distracted by side quests. But and because I want to like build Colony 6
Sure.
more because I ultimately got to a point in my original playthrough that I couldn't go back to the Mechonis to
Yeah.
get any more things. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get everything that I can to build that.
Sure.
And so yeah, I'm at like I'm about to go to the tomb of whatever with Melia.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. So anyway, partially through, still loving it. It's just a nice, you know what? I just want to like play a game and just be, for like an hour or two, and it's been a good kind of end of day relax kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when you're on your New Game Plus runs, like you know all the story beats, so
Oh
you
yeah,
don't have
exactly.
that like tension or not tension, but like the urge to play longer than you should because you want to see what happens next or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cozy to play through on a like subsequent playthrough for
Yeah.
sure.
And like,
Um,
oh man, like this foreshadowing or that foreshadowing
yeah,
or
that's what I
whatever.
loved
So
going back.
yeah.
I
So
really
anyways,
love that.
um that definitive edition, whatever, just definitely the keeps on giving kind of thing. Like that is well worth
Yeah.
like that was a good gift. So that there's lots of
Sure.
hours put into that. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, well, eventually we'll get you on the second game.
Yeah.
But not anytime soon because you might burn out because it's another like 100-hour game.
Yeah, so I think
And
kind of my summer plan, is like I'm gonna play around at this when I can. You know, put in hours in Tekken, whenever I
yeah.
can as well. But I have Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, your friend lent it to you or something, right?
Yeah, but I also don't want to consume my summer,
Yeah.
because when I got into Breath of the Wild, like I was living in the basement. So it's like, okay, maybe in the fall I'll crack that one
Sure.
open, because that's a life ender. But
So
yeah,
it could be it because like Tears of the Kingdom story is like Breath of the Wild's, where it definitely doesn't shove it down your throat all the time.
yeah,
You're really able to just explore that game at whatever pace you want. So like it could serve the same purpose that Xenoblade is serving now. Like you just like, play through like an hour or two, just like explore some more stuff. But because it's all new and the stuff, it's definitely addictive if you like. I think you can do that to Xenoblade because you know what you've been everywhere already, so it's not as luring.
Because like when you whispered Breath of the Wild to me when I was home for Christmas, and then I like immediately went and bought a Switch and then did nothing but play that game. Like I know I will.
That's a good point. You know yourself.
We're lucky that was like the winter from hell, because we'd be home and it's like, oh, crazy snowstorm, we can't do anything outside. I'm like, okay, I'm going to the basement and I'll be out of there in like 17 hours. But anyway, so I feel like I want to play Breath of the Wild again at some point too. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know, but
I definitely wouldn't do that before you go into the Tears, because playing Tears of the Kingdom will almost satisfy the desire you have to replay Breath of the Wild because they're so similar. They feel exactly the same, just in terms of like how they play. So yeah, I would advise against that, because Tears of the Kingdom is bigger.
Yeah,
so you don't want to burn out on.
So I'm looking forward to that, and because like I love Breath of the Wild so much, so I kind of have that in the back burner. And so I'll kind of keep chugging along on a couple of things, and because like that was your game of the year it came out, I think, right? Did you?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah.
Ooh, I think I picked FF16. No, I don't remember now. Was it Baldur's Gate? I think it was Baldur's Gate. Oh, if I can remember.
Sorry, Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year. But I FF16 was my game of the year. I think you had said Tears of the Kingdom, but I mean it was 51-49.
It shows how close they were, because I do not remember which one I picked.
But I just, in a random kind of like rabbit hole, like went down and watched the release, like the trailer for Breath of the Wild, and a bunch of like reaction videos, and people are just like, that sends chills down my spine for sure.
That's the one that I showed you when you were home, and are like, okay, let me play it. Because that, like, if I watch that trailer again, I will want to play Breath of the Wild again. Like, that is one of the best fucking trailers I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what it is, but
the thing about Zelda games, like, is it's just constant puzzles, and I just love it so much. Like everything's a puzzle. Anyway, and it's just so I'm excited for that. I'll keep it locked in a safe for now, because otherwise I won't see any sun at all. So it's tricky though. I have a lot of travel this year, and the Switch, we'll see.
So on the Switch 2, there's certain games get like enhanced versions or like upgrades. I don't know, it's like $10 or something. And Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have that option. Because that's my really only complaint about Tears of the Kingdom, is like it gets real framey sometimes, because that poor Switch is like 7 years old. You know what I mean? Like, but like the game is so good, it doesn't make you dislike it. The game, like it's just noticeable in certain areas, and so like I haven't replayed Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I've only done the one, the full 100% playthrough. So that one playthrough was like 220 hours. But I haven't.
Side note, it's also hilarious because I do remember you telling me, like, I played it on the Wii or like the Wii U, and then it's like, oh, then it was on the Switch, and like you played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I can't have a non 100% save file on my Switch version. I might just do it again.
Yeah. Hey, listen, anyone, if there's anyone scoffing at that comment, you're in the wrong podcast.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I haven't revisited Tears of the Kingdom at all yet. Like I think I went back and started a new game, but I was like, I know this game's gonna consume me again, so I'm not gonna go through it. But that was like 2 years ago or whatever. So, because the game came out almost exactly 2 years ago, it was in May. So it's like, I think that'll be one of my summer games. Is like, I'm probably gonna replay through Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch too.
Nice.
And enjoy it that way. So, yeah, I'll be playing that. They're porting Bravely Default from the 3DS to the Switch 2, and I love that game. It's like Final Fantasy, but just not the name, because it's like Square Enix, and they have jobs and job switching, and it's like, anyway, I love that RPG, so I'm glad they're porting it. Anyway, so yeah, though I got too much already for the summer. God damn it.
And so, other than that, I think when I get ready for work in the morning, I watch kind of Brianna White's playthrough of Rebirth. So I just kind of get that in 20-minute drip, installments kind of thing. So I'll ultimately replay that again at some point in the lead up to whatever part 3 is. So anyways, okay, that's my long-term, plan for the next little bit. And then when I'm home, if there are any Tekken weeklies going on, like that would be, do they do that in the summer or?
They definitely do it through the summer. Yes.
Okay.
It'll it'll depend that week, because if it's, I'll have to look at a calendar, but the only question mark will be, okay, shit, Tuesday falls on Canada Day, so they may not do it if that's the week you're home.
No, I'll be the next week. So
the first full week of July.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's once again the week after my vacation. That's funny. So they should then. That was the only thing. It was like, if it lands on the first, then it probably won't do it. But they'll most likely will for that.
But okay, cool. Because anyways, I mean, if you're not on vacation, like I'm working as well. So anyways, that's like what it was last time. So that's fine. Perfect. But anyways, so but yeah, I'll just keep kind of chugging away at some Tekken too as well, and play some while we're home. So that'll be good. Cool.
Right on.
But yeah, I'm really excited to hear about this. Expedition 33? Is that what it's called?
The prefix is Clair Obscur. I think that's the prefix, and the title is Expedition 33.
Okay.
I usually just I will interchangeably say one of the titles for no real particular reason. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, I had Matt watch the original reveal trailer again, just to sort of, get remember it for context and whatnot.
Before you kind of go into it, like I got a lot of not that fighting style or anything, but it gave me very near Automata kind of vibes of the enemy design and things like that.
Yeah, I could see it in the enemy design, because they're just fucking weird. Most of the time.
And the music a little bit maybe too. So, sure. But yeah. Anyway, just a comment before you get too into it.
Yeah, it definitely is inspired by the Miyazaki games, like the Dark Souls and Bloodborne type enemies as well. And one of the game designers said he loved Sekiro, and so that's why he wanted, or maybe not that's why, but he really wanted to there's a parrying mechanic in the battles, and he's like, I think I read something like, he was like, I want it to feel as good as Sekiro when you parry moves, or something to that effect. So he definitely takes a lot of inspiration from Miyazaki. And so it's literally a JRPG, but developed in France, by some French studio.
Oh, okay. I mean, it clearly was set in France.
The game is, I heard, I forget, one of I think it was Julia TV. I watch her stuff. I don't know if it was hers. Someone in one of their chats of the people I was watching play it said the game is aggressively French, but it like not as a complaint. Like it's like it really wants to let you know it's a French company that made it, and it's like in the best way possible.
No, and it was just like, okay, it's clearly a French backdrop. It's clearly French Revolution kind of like inspired.
Yeah,
aggressively French. In the French, not New Brunswick
French. Correct. The pretty French.
Yeah,
the French that sounds nice to listen to.
The nice French.
Yeah.
Sorry to my New Brunswick brethren, but
they know.
You know.
They know. They know what it's like. Okay, so you had said something before we started recording about the voice cast, because I had mentioned Ben Starr's in it as one of the main characters. Jennifer English is also in it. She's one of the really front and center characters. She played Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate.
Oh, sweet.
Who I love. I think I almost gave her best NPC in our Game of the Year discussion because I love Shadowheart so much. Yeah. And her voice is so perfect for this character. She plays Mael. I totally forgot to tell you this until we started recording, and I was like, oh, that's why earlier I was like, I'll save it. The actual main character you start as is Charlie Cox.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because I know you love the Daredevil show.
That's hilarious.
And he's the main character that you play, like, right from, like, in the first moment of the game.
I didn't know he did voice acting.
Me neither. Honestly, me neither.
Wow, cool.
Because I thought it was going to be Ben Starr's character, and I heard the voice, like, oh, that's, like, I know Ben Starr's voice, so, like, that's not him. And it was really good, but I couldn't put my finger on, because I was just thinking of all the voice actors that might be in this. And I looked it up, and was like, oh, that's why I know his voice, because I watched that show.
Yeah. Oh, wow, cool.
Anyway, and he's phenomenal. He does a really good job. And then Andy Serkis is in it as well. He's one of he's like one of the villains.
Okay.
And he's always outstanding. He's done a lot of like game voiceover before.
Okay.
And not just games that have Gollum in it. Like he's done actual other games. Yeah. But anyway, the voice cast is stacked. I don't know the other actors that play the other like party members you get, but they're phenomenal. Like I just don't know. I don't recognize their names. So one thing that is so fun about this game is like, so that you saw some of the clips of like what the battles look like. So it's very like FF10,
but maybe those are just like quick time events, kind of thing, or
So it's turn based. It's like I think the designer even said like he loves FF10, and it's like exactly FF10's turn based system outside of switching in members at will or whatever. Where it's like you see the enemy, like you see the who's going in what order, and it's like strictly turn based. You have all the time in the world to figure out what you want to do. But if you do a basic attack, it's just normal. You hit the button, they attack, and whatever. You can do like these. Everyone has a ranged weapon of some kind, and you can you get. What do they call them? Ability points? I think it's called AP, but I forget what the A stands for. Or action points, whatever. You accumulate those kind of like Octopath, where you get a point for the party.
By just doing a basic move.
It's like every round you get one, and you can use items to get more, and then you can like cash them all in for a big hit or whatever.
Yeah.
They work sort of like that, where at the beginning of a turn you get AP, but it's per character. If you like basic attack, you'll gain an extra AP, but your turn is up, and you just hold on to it. It's like a currency that it's like instead of MP, it's like you have this AP just, and you can do shots like with your ranged weapon. Each shot will use 1 AP, but it doesn't end your turn. And sometimes enemies have weak spots, so it's like this guy's got a shield, but like. Or like some like I remember one has like a floating like mine above his head, and you can shoot that and it'll do AoE damage, like hit him and the people around him or whatever. And then your skills, you can have 6 skills like equipped at a time. Those require different amounts of AP, so it's like heavier hits.
Sure.
Use more AP. And when you use a skill, you get those quick time events. Or whatever, like the button prompts. To do more damage. Sometimes it's like, oh, this will cast the buff. I think the buff is literally just called powerful. It like ups your attack. It's like it casts powerful on one ally, but if you get the 2 timed hits, it'll cast it on on the whole party.
Okay.
Or do more damage or hit more times. Like, the button presses do a variety of things.
Advanced. Yeah.
Okay. And then the basic defensive stuff is any enemy attack, you can pretty much, outside of a couple ones that get introduced later, you can like dodge or parry. If you normal dodge, which is just like a wider window to be able to land the dodge, you don't get any benefit. You just, other than just not getting hit. And that timing window is pretty generous. There's a perfect dodge, which if you dodge at the last second, you get 1 AP for your next turn.
Yeah.
But the timing is tighter. Then you can parry the moves, and every time you parry, I don't think you get AP by default, but if you parry the move, you do a counter hit for free.
Yeah.
But the parry window is the same as the perfect dodge window. So it's there's only one type of parry, but you get a real good payoff if you get it. And if the enemy hits multiple times with certain moves, you have to parry every move in the combo to get the counter attack. If it's like 4 hits and you like parry, you get hit and then parry the 4th one, you don't get the big counter. Sometimes they do AoE moves that hit the whole team, and if you parry, it's just one button press. But if you get the timing, all 3 of your guys will do a counter. Like everyone hits, so you get 3 hits at once or whatever, and it looks fucking awesome when they do. And then they add in like mechanics for like when a certain symbol appears, you have to jump, and so you have a different button for jumping. And if you jump, you hit R2 when you jump the attack, and you do like one of the ranged attacks. Like everyone does a ranged attack.
Oh man, awesome!
And then there's another type of parry that's like a little more specific that you get like halfway through the game. That's just a different button press. So it's like it's turn based, but it's like so fucking engaging. Like every battle, you're like paying because the timings are like they definitely try to throw you off. Sometimes like an enemy will literally go like raise their hand and then punch you with this hand or just like fake out or whatever and just like really wait and then just like delay the hit or whatever. And so it's difficult for sure.
It sounds kind of Stellar Blade like in that kind of mechanic. Yeah.
And what I love about it is like, because I see people being like, oh, this is what Final Fantasy should be, blah, blah. And it's like, both things can exist. Like, Final Fantasy did turn-based battles for like, 15 years or whatever. Like, they're allowed to move on to other things. But what I like about it is like, they're two, like, of course, we're going to talk about remake, but like, it's like the perfect, like, opposite side of the coin to remake's combat. Because remake and rebirth are like action games or action combat with turn-based inspiration with like ATB. And this game is like actually turn-based, but action game inspiration. Like it's, I found it's just like the perfect mirror to what like remake's system is, which I love. And I love this too. It's like, like you don't have to do one or the other thing. Like it's not like Final Fantasy or all JRPGs should be turn-based. It's like, well, no, like they did a way to make turn-based, to me, way more fun and engaging. And it just like, it perfectly like complements what maybe some people wish they got out of like remakes. If they wanted more turn-based, but it's just like, it's like action game with turn-based elements, turn-based game with action elements. It's like the perfect mixture.
There are a lot of people that's saying like it needs to be X or Y, and then like some people can do X with Y, and some people can do Y with X, and both are good.
Yes,
and
that's exactly what this is.
Different.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the combat, and there's way more to it. It's like it definitely reminded me of Octopath because it's like there's like. Oh yeah, each character has like a very unique mechanic to how their combat works. So Mael, she's like this fencer based, like she's like really good sword fighter. Like I said, aggressively French. And it's like she starts in a mode or whatever called, it's literally called stanceless, where she's not in a stance. But all of her moves will put her into it. There's like an offensive stance and a defensive stance, and like one called virtuose, which is like, that's the one you want to get to, because it's like offensive stance is like you do 50% more damage, but you take 10% more damage, or I forget what the numbers are. Defensive stance is you do less damage, or you just take less damage, and you get AP back for even regular dodges or something like that. But then like you have to read your moves, because it's like this move adds the burn debuff to the enemy and puts you in offensive stance. And then this move, if you do it against a burning enemy, that puts you in virtuose stance. And then when you're in virtuose stance, it's just a straight 200% damage buff. So it's like Octopath in the way that like, okay, I'm going to do this to get her into virtuose stance. Then I'm going to have Gustav put Mark on the enemy, which makes their next single damage taken increased. And, or put someone will put defense down on them and then mark them, and then she'll be in virtuose stance and do a big attack. And like, it's like,
man,
it's so fun to like plan those like 3 moves ahead.
That's what I loved about Octopath. Was like, and then like, if I do this, it's gonna switch the order because I'm doing a move that kind of
slows them
or puts them into sleep or whatever. And whether or not that visually is represented to you, but just kind of knowing, hey, here's the order. Oh shit! Like if that happens, like I need to do. I love that kind of stuff. That makes me really curious about this game. So,
it's and there's more that I'm forgetting, but like all the nuance, but like the like mage sort of character, she's really cool because so she does like elemental spells and stuff, and each one will give her, I think they call, everything is like all the verbiage and stuff is very art and paint themed. So every time she does a spell, she gets a different color stain, and she can have 4 stains at a time. And it's like, you use an ice spell to give you it slows the enemy and it gives you an ice stain. And then your spell that that like a fire spell that afflicts them with the burn status, if you have an ice stain, it'll do more damage and it'll consume that ice stain. And it's like,
I see.
So I got her.
Even more important to have it build or the order kind of thing.
Because then there's a move she gets where like, if you have all 4 stains, it does like 200% more damage for 4 hits, or like some crazy buff or whatever. But it has a low AP. Like it's not expensive to use that, but you have to like have gotten ready for 4 turns. Or things like that.
That's totally Octopath. Like that's literally like the whole battle mechanic for.
That's what I thought. That was I was getting massive like Octopath vibes from just like how you strategize a battle that way. And it's just every character has a unique mechanic like that. You just have to learn how that character works. So yeah, combat is like outstanding. What's nice too about it is the music variety. So it's not just one battle theme throughout the whole game. It's kind of like here we go. It's kind of like how Remake does it, where it's just like you get it, just in the way that like every area has a different like music theme, obviously, but then you get a battle version of that theme in some way. So the battle music is different. But like most turn-based games, like Octopath does it a little bit. It's like every like kind of new chapter or whatever. Like there's like 3 or 4 regular battle themes in Octopath. This one is like every area you go to is it's almost everyone. Maybe there's some duplicates, but it's always a different different battle theme when you're in a new area, especially going through the main story when you get to a new zone or whatever. And the music is phenomenal. I read something yesterday that like Clair Obscur is also topping some music chart because its soundtrack is on Spotify and stuff. So I was like, yes, more awards, please. And
yeah. Oh,
they're like
awesome.
already past like 2 million copies, and that doesn't include digital sales, or wait, no, that one does, but it doesn't include people that played on Game Pass, which is like Microsoft's subscription service, because it's there. It released day one on Game Pass, so that 2 million sold doesn't have it. It's like not even including people that are playing it there.
Okay.
So it's like a lot more people are playing it. And it's like a core team of 30 people. They outsource obviously some of the workload to like, there's probably more like 200 people total, but like the core like creative team behind the game is like 30 people. And
that's amazing.
I think this is I don't want to say that. I don't know if this is their first real game release. I can't remember, but just they had absolutely no limits on like the creative direction they want. Like they were given a blank check. It feels like
and this sounds a lot like you'll have to remind me with Stellar Blade, like studio out of nowhere with like a total banger. I can't remember Stellar Blade's who made that one.
I'm forgetting the name of the studio, but it is the only other game they made is like a mobile game.
Mobile. Mobile. Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
so it's so the risk reward between the parry and the dodging is like perfectly tuned, because like there's literally, and I got this trophy. There is a trophy. It's like beat a boss battle without taking damage, and you can do that if you parry and dodge properly. Everything can be countered in some way, save for like maybe a couple boss fights where there's like a specific mechanic. You can like take no damage if you're just good at reading the attacks and everything. And then it does this thing that's really fun where for one, if like so you have a 3-person party, and it's like there's so many times when like 2 people are down and I have like 1 hit from death on my last character. I was like, just fucking, there's like 3 attacks coming. Like, come on, like just hold on. We can get them back up. And you just like parry everything. And like, that has happened so many times. Just like that last stand of like, it's like, you can take no damage if you're playing well.
You're good. Yeah.
And then they do a thing because you get, I won't say how many, but you do get more than 3 playable characters throughout the game, and if your 3 party members die, you get a chance to send in your reserves. So you like, however many party members you have that aren't in there will come in and they'll take over and they'll fight. And I have at least probably 5 boss fights where they won. Where it's like I was like down, it was like the boss was like getting low, and then I just fucked up and didn't get the dodge, and everyone died, and okay, last stand, and like these are not as strong. Like I definitely have my favorites that I use, so like the other ones are like not as leveled, but it's like it's okay. You just you can take no damage. It's like you can do this, and I've definitely beaten like at least 5 or 6 bosses with that reserve party coming in and just like clenching it out or whatever.
Hail Mary.
And it feels so good. The trophy for getting no damage. I thought that was really funny. Cause like as soon as I beat the boss, I was like, man, I don't think I took any damage there. Bling! I was like, oh, I guess I did it. I didn't even know it was a trophy.
That's like, amazing.
That's thank you for confirming it immediately.
In trophy format.
Just that little sign.
That's a good confirmation.
Or the little sound, I mean. It is a genuinely funny game. Like, I don't laugh out loud often in games just because it's so hard to do. like timing and stuff, and it's just like I've heard people talk at length about why it's hard to be funny in a video game because you just can't control the pace of certain things.
Like
it's just hard to do. And this isn't like a spoiler, it's just a funny thing that happened. There's these they're called gestrels, and they're these they're not like human, they're like these sort of beings that live in the world, and they're like kind of dopey sometimes. Like they're I would almost liken them to like Moogles in Final Fantasy. Like they're just like kind of dumb but funny, cute, like they're just kind of minding their own business, whatever. And you're trying to like get to this one area. Oh, it has a world map too, by the way, that you walk around on. Like,
oh, nice.
And in like fully 3D or whatever. Like you're just it's like looks like you're kind of in a diorama or something. Like it's obviously not to scale, but it's like an actual JRPG like world map.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you're like, there's this place on the world map you're trying to get to. Is like, oh, there's someone guarding the bridge there, and like this gestural people you're talking to, they're like, oh, well, I'll give you the password to get by if you fight in our arena or something. And I was like, of course, sure. That's a normal RPG thing to be able to do.
Classic trope,
Yeah. So you do that, and she's like, okay, the password is just get out of my way, but it only works if you scream it at the top of your lungs. And they're like, okay, like I said, these things are weird. Like, sure, that might as well be the password. Yeah. And then you go there, and they're like, oh, we got to give him the password. And they look to Gustav, the main guy, and it's like, oh, you're the loudest of us. Go ahead. And he's just like, get out of my way. And the guy is just like the guy guarding is like, oh, like you can go. It's like, you don't have to yell. Don't you? Like, why are you being so rude? And your character's like, well, I'm sorry. They told me the password was this, and I had to yell it. And they're like, there's no password. Like, or no, he's like, I don't know. She never told me what the password was. And then he's like, awesome. He's like, look, I'm really sorry. She told me to yell. And he's like felt really bad about it.
That's awesome.
And then there's like this one character, who's like kind of a companion that travels around with you, and he's just like, he's got a really French accent, and he just speaks like very weird. I can't even put his name is like Esquier, and it's just like I can't even give an example, and I also don't want to kind of spoil some of the things he says because he's just like really funny, and he brings a lot of like charm to the game. But yeah, there are like multiple points where I laughed out loud because it was really funny. Nice. Which I don't get that often in games. Oh yeah, have you ever watched the movie Up, the animated movie, like Pixar movie?
I don't think so. No. Is there a VA in that, or
no? It's infamous for having making you care and like borderline like cry in like the first 12 minutes of the movie or something. It's infamous for like, how did they get you so emotionally invested in like 15 minutes?
Yeah, and I do know that about that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this game does something very similar. It has got to be one of the like most impactful like prologues for a game, like outside of like a nostalgia game for me where I would get emotional, like we've talked about that. I think this is like the fastest game I ever cried. It was like literally 1 hour in, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, well, how did they do that?
Invested.
Just their world building in that first hour, and setting the tone for the world they live in the game. I guess I didn't really talk about what the premise is. So, and this is not spoilery because this is just in the trailers, and I won't go into the later spoilery things. But the premise of the game and the story is there's like this kind of deity called the Paintress, and you can like from the city they live in, you can like see her like way off on the horizon because she's like this massive thing, and she has a huge monolith that she paints on. and um, every year she paints a new number, which is basically counting down. So it's like when the game starts, it's 34. The number she paints is basically telling you what age you're going to die. Anyone that lives there. And every year she counts down, so it's like everyone is living like they're it's like every year is like kind of like 2 years of your life because you know, and it's like tradition for the last year before your number's up that you volunteer for the expeditions, and the expeditions goals are to try to kill a paintress, so she stops counting down, and because it's really dangerous, like they don't want to send people younger than that because they have so few years left, and
you have 1 year to live, like
then every expedition goes and like tries to leave journals behind so the new expeditions can learn what they learned and try to get farther and whatever, and you're the 33rd expedition, was where the name comes from. And that's basically what the game teaches you in the first hour of the game.
It sounds really fun. I really want to play it now.
And like I said, for going in, like obviously I wanted to play the game just visually alone, and just like the music I heard in the trailer was really cool and all that stuff. But it's like I was so immediately in with the characters in that first hour. Like like I immediately went and watched like 10 different YouTubers that will generally I'll watch reactions to things. Like there's a bunch that I will go back and watch their specific reactions because I've watched them for games that we play. And it was like the next day I was like, what was Mac's reaction? What was what was this person's reaction? What was this person? Like I went through everyone that I normally go through in that whole and then I just would find random people that I've never seen before. Well, how did they react? Just to watch them do that prologue. And it's such a lesson in like cinematography because it's shot incredibly well, writing because it's like it's not stilted dialogue, and it does a really good job of like explaining the story that doesn't sound like a video game way of like, we're doing this today because this and so does this. It's like, I don't know. There's definitely a way that exposition can just be dumped, and it takes good writing to like make that exposition come out, but in a natural way,
seem more natural.
Which they absolutely do. And it's like such a lesson for like, this is why music matters in video games, because like I might start crying just thinking about it. The way they use music in that prologue, it's like, what a fucking gut punch. Like just when the music kicks in, oh my God, it's so fucking good.
We've talked about that, just music being a character in the game for sure. So
and which is why I was happy to see that it's like on all these these lists or whatever, like topping music charts or something. Just for how good. And I don't know the composer. I do not know what they did music for before. It's some French composer. All working in that studio, and because I watched some interviews with them, and he was getting like all emotional about, because they've been working on this game for like 7 years or something.
Holy crap!
And he's just like, he said like he wrote the main theme for this game like way in like first year, and it's like they've just now in the last the last year up to release got to like fully fill out and the all the instruments and like record it like professionally. He was getting all emotional about hearing it be played to its like full kind of potential. Anyway, music is insanely impactful. And then I hit the big the old classic JRPG Act 2 twist. That's like, oh, you thought this was the point of the game. Well, here's a bunch of new shit that you just learned that we're going to dump on you. And it's like, every JRPG has a version of that. Where it's like, oh, I see now what we're really doing, or what our new goal is, or whatever. So I literally just hit that like yesterday. And then at this point, I'm pretty sure the game is telling me like the whole no turning back. If you go here, like,
Oh, okay.
this is where
Nice,
the
nice.
game ends. So,
Yeah.
they give
Are
you,
you sure you
yeah,
want to?
like you
Yeah.
get the airship equivalent. You got like full free roam on the world map. You have an objective that I'm pretty sure is the final boss, and the games, and even your character's like, oh man, we better make sure we're prepared before we go wherever,
No turning back now.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Are you sure? X. Are you really sure? X.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do that before I do any like open world stuff, because I don't want to get like too powerful. Like, if I go in and I just get my ass handed to me, then maybe I'll do stuff. But
sure.
I want the challenge as intended. So I'll probably finish that game up. I might do it tonight. We'll see.
Nice.
I might try it at least tonight, but we'll see. This week for sure. But yeah, it has that big twist. One nice thing about this game, which may make it appealing to you, I'm at that point. I'm like 31 hours. Like, it's not a long game, which honestly is fine. Like,
yeah.
It's a really good pace, and truthfully, I wasn't like playing like crazy like 7-8 hour sessions when I was playing, because like it's really intense. Like, not just like demanding from a gameplay perspective,
emotionally
intense and like very heavy story moments. You do this thing where between like not chapters but like big story beats, you like have a camp, like a bonfire, like camp that you go back and set up, and you have nice little moments, kind of like heart to heart type moments with all the characters. And those are like some of the best writing in the game, like the way those are written.
Nice.
And just a really good sort of filling out the characters and learning more about them and stuff. Yeah, it's not a long. So all that to say, like, yeah, it's not a long game. It moves pretty quick. So it's not like 100-hour time investment. It's also not a full price game. It's like, for us in Canada, a full price game is like $89.99. This is like $60.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it's like, I think you would call it a double A game. But it is stunning visually. I love the sort of art style, but also just like the pure visuals of it. And some of like the scale of some, areas you go to, or these like bosses you're fighting, they're just like behemoths, like just towering over you. And it's what a game, man. Holy shit. It's like, for sure it's gonna be nominated for Game of the Year, and it is a front runner. It's like one of the highest rated games of all time on like Metacritic or something like that.
Holy crap. Wow.
Like, it is outstanding, or it is performing outstandingly. And yeah, it's just a real special game. Like, and so many people are playing it, and I feel like that momentum is picking up because like everyone's talking about it now. So then people that weren't gonna play it or were gonna play it later are like, oh, I gotta play this game now. Check what everyone's talking about. I really, if this game ends up, we don't know what the rest of the year's gonna look like, but like if this would be a game that could win Game of the Year, it would be just like another win for video games, because it's just like a small studio, really like laser focused kind of creative vision for the game. Single player turn-based RPG. It's I hope it wins. I obviously, we don't know everything else that's coming out this year, but this would be really special if a game like this won at the end of the year, just because of how
I'm excited now. I'll definitely get a hold of it. That sounds like a great summer game. So yeah.
Does the library, do they still do that thing?
They do. Yeah. So I'll check it out.
That might be one you can take advantage of, that because it's not that long of a game.
No, seriously. Like like the library here has like PS5 Switch games. Like, it's just like kind of insane.
You can just borrow.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, I'll check it out. So because that's how I kind of stumbled across. Well, you had recommended it, but
Stellar Blade.
Yeah. But anyway, no, that'd be awesome. So cool.
Yeah, that's about all I'll say without getting like to be able to not get into spoiler stuff. But if you do eventually play it, there's definitely some points of like we gotta talk about this thing that just happened because it's
yeah,
it was I don't even want to say anything about it. I'm glad it didn't leak the thing that I just learned. I'm glad it didn't get out
okay,
and
nice.
get spoiled for me. So yeah, well, fantastic game. Said patting myself on the back a little bit because I feel like I just knew this game was going to be special when I saw it
Yeah,
on that first trailer. But I'm just so happy that a lot of people are giving it a chance, even if some people don't play turn-based RPGs or whatever. Yeah, so this was what I was gonna say. I was worried at first because they like announced the Bethesda did a full remaster of Oblivion, which is like a massive one of the I don't know if you know the Elder Scrolls game,
I've
but
seen all that, like
yeah,
even the memes associated with it. So yeah, that's you're worried that that was going to kind of consume the hype a little bit, or
because it came out like the day before this game came out, and they announced
yeah,
it and released it on on the same day, which is we call that a shadow drop, and like
yeah,
that doesn't happen often, especially for a game that big.
yeah.
So I was like, oh man, all the RPG fans are, and like myself, like I bought that game too because I kind of missed Oblivion. I played it a little bit, but I didn't really care for it because it was kind of a janky game, especially on console. Um, I Skyrim was the one that got me into Elder Scrolls games, which I say games, but that's the only one I like. So
Yeah.
but I was like, oh, like I'll give Oblivion a shot now that it's it's not just a paint job. It's like they redid some systems and whatever.
Yeah, some mechanics and stuff.
It's a very pretty game, but I just got so bored. It is I don't know. Maybe it's not a popular opinion, but I feel like the combat in that game is boring as hell.
Hmm.
And so even I like played that for like a week, and I was like, I'll go back to Expedition 33. Like more, I was kind of juggling the two, like bouncing between them. But I was just like, I think I'm like 10 or 15 hours into Oblivion. I was like, I get it. I don't need to finish this game.
I'm done.
And I'm glad to see that kind of seems to be what's happening where Expedition 33 did not get completely overshadowed. A lot of people are like, whether they're pulling away from Oblivion or just, it's got more of a buzz right now than Oblivion does.
Okay,
which
gotcha.
I'm glad because, it's a smaller team and, putting out a single player turn-based RPG in 2025 when a lot of companies are like scared to do that or something. And just for how good it is, and like I haven't had any bugs, like no weird no crashes, like it's very polished. I just want to. I'm probably gonna go play it as soon as we're done.
Amazing.
It's very very good.
You mentioned like putting out a turn-based or RPG kind of not the because it's all like, oh, there's Call of Duty and then things, all these kind of things. There's a meme that I love, and I see it pops up all the time where it's from Rogue One, where it's just like a man of your talents playing single player, whatever, and he's like, well, he says something like, it's a peaceful life.
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. He's got like all the multiplayer, like Fortnite and all those games behind him, and that other guy's just playing like,
whatever. Anyway, just like
Persona
non
or
online.
something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a peaceful life.
Which is me in a nutshell. Like I don't play a lot of, Tekken's the only thing really I play online. But otherwise it's like, nope, I'll play my single player, hanging out, doing my own thing.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on 90% of the way through this game. Like I said, I think based on the way it's talking to me, I think I'm at the end. So I should be able to finish that up this week at some point, and we can talk about it down the line when
nice
if you tackle it as well. But yeah, I know I because of how much you like the system in Octopath, I really think that will be the thing that you like like notice the most, like how much it
Yeah, yeah,
feels
yeah.
like that. And then just the turn or the action prompt stuff. It's like it, when it's their turn, you don't just sit and wait for your like think about what you're gonna do on your next turn. You're like you have to really pay attention and get the timings and
Yeah.
it's like what you mentioned in Xenoblade where there's like one boss I was like some optional boss I was doing today. I like go in, start the fight, bang, everyone dead. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, just let me just figure out that first attack and we see what's next. And then I get that one parried or dodged. I get the timing. I was like, oh, he's doing some new move I've never, because, you know, new type of attack that I'm not used to, or, you know, this type of monster has not done that type of attack before.
Yeah.
It's like, and then it was like, it was literally like, there was one where you had to do like a one-on-one battle, or I say one-on-one, you had to pick one of your characters to solo battle, and there was like three of them, three enemies, and they go fast. I don't know if I was just like too low level, but like they went like twice each before I could go. So I was like, okay, like at first I was just like, I don't do enough damage, like it's gonna take forever. And it was like, oh, if I parry everything, I will get like 6 attacks per turn, basically. Because if I can parry everything, you know, and attack back each time. So my turn when it came around was just to make sure that my parry counterattacks did more damage. So it was she had a buff where when she does the free shots, like the range shots, it has like a 20% chance of putting a mark on them, which makes them take like 25% more damage. So there's 3 of them, and I would use my AP to shoot all 3 of them. And it's like, if one got a mark, I'm like, okay, don't touch him. Shoot the other 2, like try to mark, and like got 2 of them marked. Okay, when I counter hit, they're gonna take a shitload of damage now. And I literally whittled them down with counterattacks. Like my turn was literally just used to like heal or like try to debuff them so my next round of counters will do more.
Would just kind of, you know, crush them. So wow, that's awesome.
And it was just like, it took me like 8 tries maybe. Like it was like I was on this boss for like 45 minutes, but I was just like, I know, like I know it can be done. I just have to be better.
Execute.
Which also gives me, like the guy talked about how he loves the Souls games. It definitely has that sort of exhilaration for me where you're like, the boss is beatable. I just gotta like pay more attention and do the right move at the right time. And it's like, then you finally get it after it felt impossible an hour ago. And it's just like, oh, that feeling is so good.
Yeah, exactly. There, done. I find just because you mentioned solo battles and things like that, in Rebirth, Rufus in the Colosseum was just like, Jesus H. Christ, like this guy's unbeatable unless I figure out a perfect and that one on hard mode it took forever. But
I remember
he's
that
got to figure out. But cool.
Anyway,
the game sounds great.
Yeah, I know you'll like it for sure. And anyone that's listening, if you like Final Fantasy X, Octopath, Bravely Default, Persona, any of those games, give it a try. And it's on Game Pass, so even if you don't want to buy it and you want to play it on PC, Game Pass or whatever, it's there. And yeah, it's a special game, man. It's so fucking like unique. And it's I like it because it's like it has clear inspiration from different games, but it is so its own thing. Like it doesn't just try to be a parody of those things and nothing more. They just took the things they liked about those games and, you know, adjusted it or kind of molded it to fit in the game they wanted to make. So it's like it wears its inspirations on its sleeve for sure, but it definitely has its own voice, like 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I had to get that out of my system. I really needed to talk about this game.
Oh man, no, I'm super excited to play it. So no, thanks for kind of the hype for it. And I like these independent studios and kind of getting something new out there and unique. So that's cool.
Yeah, and to see it do well is, obviously it but you love to see that when these companies that don't get billion-dollar bonuses and laying off 100 employees every month because they can't afford to pay them. Because of economic headwinds. It's nice to see a studio that doesn't do that bullshit get some spotlight for sure. So that's pretty much all I had for this time. Awesome. I don't know when. We'll probably have one when we won't talk about this game when I finish it because I don't want to spoil things, but I'll probably want to talk about Doom when I get my hands on that game. So sometime in like the next 2 weeks or whatever, we'll probably do another episode to talk about that. And if you've cracked any new game or whatever, we can bring that too.
Awesome. Sounds good. We'll get into a summer of gaming and lots to look forward to. So cool. Sounds good.
All right. So that'll do it for here. Do it for us here. Don't forget you guys to subscribe and all that stuff. I don't have a current interview planned, but I have a couple that I'm waiting to see if I hear back from. So I will I'll keep you guys updated if that stuff follows through. And Matt and I will meet again in a couple weeks because I have been watching the embargo for Doom impressions was like 2 days ago or something. And I've been watching one of the Easy Allies, who I watch a lot of their stuff. They did a talk about Doom, and I'm just like, God damn, that game's gonna be fun. I like what I'm hearing about it. So nice. It does a thing where I talked about this with Darksiders, where each game plays like different enough that they don't feel like there's three. Excuse me, Darksiders 1, 2, and 3. All three of them play very differently, so like they don't feel samey by the time you get to the third game. And Doom Eternal was like a perfect evolution of Doom that came out like the 2016 Doom, and it added a bunch of more stuff so it feels like its own thing. And based on what I'm seeing with this game, it looks like this is just gonna feel completely different again. So I love when a game will do that, just to like differentiate itself from the other games. So, and it looks like this one's gonna do the same. So I'm sure I'll have lots to talk about when it comes out.
Sweet, cool, and love a good Doom game too. So that's awesome.
I'll have that by the time you visit, because it comes out next week. So I'll be able to show it to you in person. Nice. By that point, but I think that'll do it then. Short episode today, but like I said, we didn't have a ton to talk about, and I just had to regurgitate all Expedition 33 stuff I've been wanting to talk about. I tried to talk to my boss about it, but it's like, I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but just let me tell you about this stuff. I'm just talking to her about the story and everything. But so we'll see you guys on the next one then. Matt, thanks as always for joining me, and we'll see you guys probably in a couple weeks.
All right, awesome. Cheers. Okay. See everyone.
Thanks everyone.